good, but when I moved off of that, I still tried to be stuck on the right rear. So I felt like the team did a really good job at doing that. And, fortunately for me, a lot of the cars went to run the middle or the bottom and just left all that clean air for me up top. So I was just able to pass cars and get up through there pretty fast. And then there the last half, it was just, trying to get the second and try to run Donny down, which was not very easy.
I'll open it up to you guys.
Brent, when you make a decision to go up there, obviously bounce to the 1 and 2, or the track was trickier. How do you make that decision to go up there and be cautious the first time? And how do you make that decision? How do you commit to that, especially at this speed?
Well, you just have to commit to it. With the way that the track was tonight, you can't get up there and just ease into it, because especially on a full field load, because a lot of times you just get yourself in trouble. So it was just a decision that I made, and I committed to it, and just made sure I didn't get in there and get the car, didn't stab the car sideways in a rut or anything like that. Just try to do it smooth and straight as I could to drive through it. And that was the easiest and best way that I thought I could run my way up through there. So it worked out for me tonight. That doesn't always work out, but tonight it did.
40th Kings Royal winner, Donny Schatz. I'll leave it up to you guys.
David, in qualification, you put yourself in a position to be in a front row of a heat race. Is that what you were trying to do in qualification, trying to see yourself?
Tell the truth, too.
I just did what I had to do to put myself in position to win the race, and we didn't take any power away or anything. Just late pill draw. Sometimes you slow down.
Donny, how are you able to keep your car so smooth through those corners that the track conditions?
I don't have any idea. I have not felt like that in a long time. I mean, the way the motors run, sometimes your car does things, and my cars have just been buried on the right side. If they're not on the right side, they're buried on the left side, and I just can't keep them in the rear tires. And so we talked last night after the races and said, I guess we'll just pull something out of upstairs in the trailer that's older and see if it works. I mean, some of the stuff that we had a couple years ago, and I mean, you've seen what it did tonight. I knew when we hot lapped, I was like, I feel like I'm a race car driver again instead of a flag car, So that's all it really was. I don't exactly know the specifics of all of it, but just a call Scuba made, and I guess when you're scratching and clawing for something, that's what you do. You just throw Hail Marys, and that's kind of what it was.
Given how the last couple of years have gone, Donny, how much is this rewarding for you personally to be able to respond to that adversity?
Well, we want to be consistent every night. That's the goal. We want to race for championships. I'm nowhere near the ability to race for a championship. It's you just got to be consistent. And it's nice to be able to be in this, in a good spot at these big races. But we did it qualifying 24th. We did have to pass some cars in the heat race, which if it would have been any other heat race but the 6th, I don't think that would have happened because the racetrack finally started to move around just a little bit. So, I think everybody wants to win this race. It's the second biggest payday of the year next to David's win at UCITS, and that's what makes the world go around. So we enjoy that, but sure wish I could flop this over for 2 nights ago, but I did have a talk with Bobby Allen on the stage, and he's going to borrow me $500,000 with no interest. So we'll see how that goes.
Donny, you said last year here about this time of year after the race, though you didn't win that, you might have hit on something and went out and won the national. Do you feel like you're going to make another run again and maybe hit on something?
I don't know that I'd go and say that. I mean, I just told you how we come about getting here tonight. It worked here tonight. But does that mean it's going to work when we leave here tonight and go Wednesday to FAPS and Williams Grove Friday and Saturday? Everything we've done for the last month is just I can't get out of my own way. And it's a combination of the direction we've gone with some of the engine stuff and the changes in the tire. So does this help? Yeah. This gives us a little bit of maybe we went the wrong direction and we got to start revisiting some of the things that we've already done. But there's a lot more. It's a lot easier said than done. Anybody that's been a part of anything like this, you don't just put the motor under the bench and it come out changed. There's a lot more to it. So, we'll just work on it. We've kind of planned ahead for this. We set the car we ran the last couple nights aside when we were here in May because that was decent. We ran second and third. But the racetrack wasn't anything like that. I guess I don't think it was to you.
It's a little different.
It was a little different. So, that obviously that didn't work. And so we just kind of had to take us all week to figure something out or just keep changing enough stuff to try to get going in the right direction.
Brent, so you struggle with being here, you talk a lot about tires and whatnot. Do you feel like you're getting back to where you were last year? Obviously, that's in the last month or so. And tonight looked good as well. Do you feel like you're getting back to where you were last year?
Yeah, I feel like every race that we run, we're heading in the right direction and making the best calls we can. And there for a period of time, I think it was about 13, 14 races, we contended for a win in just about every single one of them. Crashed out of a few, had some other issues and some, so our results didn't show for that, but as far as being competitive, we were. So, and then coming to Eldora here this week, I felt like we had a good car pretty much all week long. We just had some adversity there the other night in our heat race, and didn't qualify all that well yesterday, and got behind in the heat race and was able to drive up to the top 10 there. And I just felt like we weren't positioning ourselves at all on these races here this week, and even tonight, I still felt like we weren't positioned the way that I thought we should have been. So,
I just bumped it a lot.
Yeah, I feel like we are heading in the right direction, and we are very close to where we were. And we just have to keep working on our car and just try to get the thing a little bit better on a consistent basis throughout the entire night. We just seem to play catch up throughout the night. So, really proud of our team for what we have overcome this year.
For all three of you guys, talked debate today about the format. I'm curious, mostly the format that's always been run. Is it so much the format as something we need to look at, or is it just a circumstance byproduct of the track and the weather today?
I think it's all of the above. I mean, I don't know who makes the decision on the format, but we all kind of knew it going in. We knew it last year. I think one year or something they might have spun a wheel so that you don't know whether. I'm not really sure who makes those decisions, but obviously the wheel's right there. They've done that before, but I guess they had it picked up what they were going to do to invert 6, and I think that's been standard for a long time that I can remember.
It used to be 6 a lot.
But there wasn't anybody going in the heat races. I mean, I'd have hated to have been in that first heat starting in the third row, but I guess that sometimes comes down to luck or where you draw. And like David said, I went out late. I think I was a couple cars in front of him, and I went give it everything I could because normally that's not good enough. And it put us 24th. Oh, I think it was a 13:03 something, and you were 33rd. 07. You were in 07 with a 33rd. So it's like there's a lot of cars in a small area that you don't want to mess with. So rain, I think they did it okay with the track. I mean, could it be better? Absolutely. I don't think there's anything that couldn't be better, but I mean, what time is it? I didn't think we get out here till 3 o'clock in the morning. It's clearly way ahead of that. So,
yeah, I think the format could use a change, in my opinion, just because I know people have been sandbagging for years and it worked out for him. But Donny, I know he's a guy that he never sandbags and runs hard every single lap, and he's won a lot of these Kings Royals that way. So I just felt like tonight you're crucifying yourself if you're starting 5th or 6th in a heat race. I felt like you're giving yourself a less of a chance. A guy like Spencer Basin tonight was 4th quick, ran like 6th in his heat race. He started like 18th in the B main. So when it doesn't go back on qualifying and it goes back on finishing position, pretty much qualifying doesn't mean anything once you roll out there for the heat race. So to me, that's a double-edged sword. It's a special race and it creates a lot of excitement, but usually it puts a couple question mark guys up front in the feature, and maybe they like that, but it's definitely a different format. I just finally was able to hit it right. I don't know if I've started in the top 6 ever or maybe once in my career. So it's a very tricky format with Mother Nature today. It makes it even harder.
Yeah, I mean, just like they said, it is a really hard format, and what we were dealt with today obviously made it that much harder. So as far as making a change to the format, I mean, I don't know. I just think we all need to look into it. I've always been a fan of points-based formats and go out there and earn your points. And the guys that qualified good, they didn't finish well in a heat race. They could have had points to go back on. So, I don't know. This format seems to be great. When it's sunny, 80 degrees, 90 degrees outside, and guys can seem to get through the heat races a little bit easier. But when they have situations like tonight, it's not very good. So
I mean, a guy won $1 million 2 days ago, started 8th in his heat race and won it.
yeah,
So
exactly.
it works, but today it just Mother Nature had another plan.
Can you just talk about the magnitude of winning 6 times this event and 28 consecutive day main starts, 28 starts? Just, I mean, the track appeared to be